The Commanders are in the eye of the storm, and the decisions they make in the coming weeks could define the entire season. We've got exclusive information on 3 situations that are shaking the organization to its core. A young player is quickly losing ground as competition heats up. A rookie is making waves and getting everyone talking. And the biggest bombshell, a team star has the clock ticking, and the management must act now or face the consequences. If you're a Washington fan, you need to stay until the end, because this news is going to impact the future of your team directly. Like this video, and subscribe because you won't find this information anywhere else. The pressure is mounting for Luke McCaffrey, and I'm going to tell you exactly why his future with the Commanders is in real jeopardy. This second-year wide receiver, a third-round pick from last year's draft, is facing the toughest reality of professional football: evolve or disappear. And right now, all signs point to him losing the battle. McCaffrey had all the opportunities in the world last season. He played with Jaden Daniels, a quarterback who turned average receivers into standout players, but McCaffrey couldn't capitalize on that advantage. I believe that when you have an elite quarterback throwing you the ball and you can't put up significant numbers, then the problem isn't with the system, it's with you. Now I ask you this: how is it possible for a player with so much athletic potential not to stand out when everything is aligned in his favor? The answer is simple, and I say this with total honesty. McCaffrey hasn't shown the consistency or improvement expected of him after a full season of experience. The situation is further complicated by the arrival of Jalen Lane, a 4th-round selection this year. Reports indicate that Lane has superior physical attributes to McCaffrey and is showing better adaptation in training. I believe the organization is already evaluating whether McCaffrey can keep his position as a kick returner, which was his main contribution last year. Analyst Douglas Fritz was brutally honest in assessing McCaffrey's situation. He pointed out that despite all the positive things written about him, it never materialized on the field. I tell you this: in the NFL, they don't pay you for potential. They pay you for production, and McCaffrey simply hasn't delivered. The Commanders have significantly improved their receiving core this season. With Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel as the main duo, Noah Brown providing a deep threat, and Michael Gallup coming out of retirement, McCaffrey is running out of space in the offensive rotation. Now I ask you, where exactly does McCaffrey fit into this equation? The reality is, McCaffrey will make the team, because the organization won't give up quickly on a 3rd-round pick. But I believe if he doesn't show dramatic improvements immediately, he's going to end up buried deep in the depth chart, and that's practically a death sentence for a young player. His athletic ability is there. No one denies it. His roots improved by the end of last season, and he showed flashes in the return game. But I tell you this, in the NFL, flashes aren't enough. You need consistency, you need reliability, and you need to make plays when the team needs you. McCaffrey has this season to prove he belongs in this league, with an established quarterback in Jaden Daniels and a coaching staff that knows his strengths and weaknesses. There are no more excuses. He either seizes this opportunity or wastes it forever. Now I ask you directly, do you believe Luke McCaffrey has what it takes to survive in this fierce competition? Or are you witnessing the beginning of the end of his career with the Commanders? Switching topics completely, we have a story generating excitement among the Washington fan base. Trey Amos, the 2nd-round pick cornerback, is making exactly the kind of impression the Commanders hope to see from day 1 of training. Amos fell to pick 61 in the draft, and I tell you this, that was a blessing in disguise for Washington. Many analysts had Amos projected to be selected much earlier, but for some reason, all the teams ahead of the Commanders overlooked him. Their loss, our gain. Reports from media open training sessions have been extraordinary for Amos. 2 interceptions in a single session, showing sure presence in coverage and being highlighted as one of the top performers of the day. I believe when a rookie is dominating from day 1 against established veterans, that tells you everything you need to know about his immediate potential. The organization has a real need at the cornerback position opposite Marshawn Lattimore. Mike Sonra still played there last season out of necessity, but his true value is in the slot. If Amos can secure that starting position from day 1, it gives Dan Quinn the defensive flexibility he needs. Douglas Fritz of Clutch Points focused on Amos as a hidden gem fans need to know quickly. The analyst expects Amos to give Quinn's defense the aggressive spark it requires. I tell you this, Quinn was more successful when his cornerbacks made life miserable for rival offenses, and Amos has exactly that profile. The key for Amos will be how he performs against elite receivers in practice. He's going to face off daily against Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel, two players with all-pro credentials. If he can compete consistently against them, then we know he's ready for the NFL level. Now I ask you this, how often do we see a rookie cornerback make an immediate impact in their first season? It's uncommon, but Amos has all the tools to be the exception. His ability to read the quarterback, converge on the ball, and be aggressive in coverage are exactly the traits Quinn seeks in his cornerbacks. It's important to keep expectations in perspective. These are just off-season practices, and we know fans are hungry for football after months without action. But I believe when multiple reports highlight the same player, it's not a coincidence. Amos has the momentum on his side. Silencing those critics that emerged during pre-draft evaluations will be the extra fuel he needs to establish himself as a reliable cornerback from day one. Now I ask you, do you see Trey Amos as the starting cornerback the Commanders have been searching for, or is it too soon to draw definitive conclusions? And now we reach the news that's truly holding the entire organization in suspense. Terry McLaurin, Washington's undisputed offensive star, is in a contract situation that requires immediate attention. And I tell you this with full seriousness. If the Commanders don't act fast, they could be staring at an absence that completely halts their offensive plans. McLaurin is set to earn $15.5 million in base salary this season, in the final year of a 3-year extension, averaging $23.2 million annually. Now I ask you, how is it possible that a receiver who has produced 5 consecutive seasons of over 1,000 yards is earning less than 8 receivers who are above $30 million annually? The situation is clear, and I believe McLaurin has every right to seek a new contract. This man has been the embodiment of consistency for the Commanders. Season after season, no matter who was throwing the ball, McLaurin produced elite numbers. Now that they finally have a true quarterback in Jaden Daniels, it would be madness not to secure their most reliable offensive weapon. McLaurin already showed his cards by skipping the start of voluntary workouts, exactly the same tactic he used in 2022 before getting his current contract. I tell you this, when a player establishes a pattern of behavior, they're sending a clear message to the organization. It's not a coincidence he's using the same strategy. The mandatory minicamp is less than 2 weeks away, and that's where things are going to get really interesting. McLaurin can opt not to show up at all, which would result in significant fines, or he can show up but limit himself to doing the bare minimum. Either option sends the same message. I want my money now. Kevin. Patra from NFL.com identified this as a priority offseason issue for Washington. He pointed out that the Commanders traded for Deebo Samuel, who earns slightly more annually than McLaurin, but hasn't been nearly as consistent. I think that comparison perfectly illustrates the absurdity of the current situation. The reality of the market is brutal but clear. Jamar Chase completely reset the market this offseason with a contract averaging over $40 million annually. T. Higgins, Cincinnati's second receiver, is earning $28.75 million annually. DK Metcalf just signed for $33 million annually with Pittsburgh. Now I ask you, where does McLaurin fit in this hierarchy? If Washington matches Metcalf's average annual value, McLaurin would be back in the top 5 highest paid receivers in the league, which is exactly where many believe he deserves to be. And I say this, considering Daniels is on his cheap rookie contract, this is the perfect time to invest in McLaurin. The organization has to make a decision, and the clock is ticking. Josh Harris is going to have to open his checkbook once more, because losing McLaurin over a contract dispute would be an absolute disaster for this team's playoff aspirations. Now I ask you directly, do you think the Commanders will do the right thing and pay McLaurin what he's worth? Or are they willing to risk their entire season by penny pinching? These 3 situations define exactly the moment the Washington Commanders find themselves in. McCaffrey fighting for survival, Amos showing the bright future of the defense, and McLaurin waiting for the economic recognition he has earned with years of excellence. What do you think about McCaffrey's future in the offense? Do you think Amos can be an immediate starter? Should the organization pay McLaurin immediately, or wait until after the season? I want to hear your opinions in these comments because this is more than just a channel. We're a family of fans passionate about our Commanders. If this content kept you informed and entertained, like the video and subscribe so you don't miss any crucial updates about our team. Hit the notification bell because important news waits for no one. Join this community that lives and breathes football, where we analyze every move, every decision, and every play that can change Washington's destiny. Your opinion matters, and I want you to be an active part of these discussions that we're all passionate about. And remember, hail to the Redskins!